When you are a fan of 2000 metal music, then I guess you came across a more underground, unknown band called Slipknot. Well, Slipknot is probably not known for their technical, progressive kind of guitar playing, but there's one lick in one specific song where I see a lot of people doing it wrong. Even well-acknowledged YouTube guitar players like Nick Nocturnal or one of my favorite Andy James did not get it quite right. The only one that kinda got it right was Rob Scallion with his banjo cover and Sophie Burrell. But today I'm going to solve the mystery why everybody has problems with the intro lick of Psychosocial by Slipknot. Here we go. Hey Guitar Champion, what's going on? I'm Justin Hornbach, back from my practice cave, and welcome to today's video. So I saw a lot of covers where people are trying to play Psychosocial by Slipknot, and in the first lick of the solo by Mick Thompson, a lot of people not quite do it the way how it was intended. Either way, they play everything legato, or they have problems with the picking, with the fingerings, all this kind of stuff. And therefore I thought, why are they having problems and how can I may help you to find a solution for these problems? Okay, first of all, for me it's important to make a difference between intention and how it's actually been played on the record. Because I know that Mick Thompson is a huge fan of Paul Gilbert's playing. And even though that in the original recording not everything is picked quite well, we have some synchronization problems, we have some notes picked twice, the intention, I believe, was to have a lick which is fully in the tradition of Paul Gilbert, Vinnie Moore, all these monster speed pickers, creating this percussive, aggressive, but still smooth kind of speed picking sound. And it's not so easy to figure out the real intention of this lick because there is no real live version where he's going to play that lick, because the live versions that I saw are often 10-20 ppm faster, and even with the original recording being on 135 ppm, that's already quite fast for a run that is played on 16-note triplets. So I transcribed it, I analyzed it, I got informations out of different covers and different lessons, and I came up with this version here. And here we have two main problems that we're going to take a deeper look today. The first one is position shift, and the second one is of course one of the most common problems when it comes to picking, Pickslanting. Alright, so let me grab my guitar and let's check out this lick. Okay, right now I have here a 7th string. I know that originally it was recorded with a 6th string. The tuning was drop A. But that is not big of a difference. When you have a drop A guitar, then everything what I'm going to do here, you're just playing it one string below. So when I'm playing it here on the E string, you have to play it on the A string. And the only version that I knew where somebody came really close to the original recording and the intention behind that recording was Sophie Burrell on her cover. And there she did a vertically kind of version of the lick. I choose to do it a horizontal way because there are certain things in the vertical kind of way which are also really difficult. Let me play my version first, slow. As always, you can download the free tabs of this video in the link in the description box. So, we are in the key of G minor. We are all playing everything with 3-note per string scale. And first we are starting with this pattern 3-5-6, 3-5-6 on the E and on the A string. And then we have the first problem, the position shift. The position shift where the last note of our first position and the first note of our next position has the same finger. In this case, the pinky. Because of this position shift, we always lose a certain amount of time. So what happens sometimes? Sometimes this happens, that we skip a note, or this happens, that we play this one here now twice. So we really have to focus on the position shift, and we really have to practice the position shift. How can we do this? By practicing the position shift. Like this. Just focus on the movement between one finger to the next finger, and only on the position shift, that your hand is fast enough to go from the 3rd fret closed position here to the 5th fret closed position. Be aware that every note is really picked, that you create an awareness and a focus for your picking movement, that even when you're recording it and slowing it down, it sounds like this, and not like this. And then we can continue. Then we have a descending line where we're playing 8-6-5, 8-6-5. Now we have another position shift, which is a little bit easier because the gap is not so big, it's only 1 fret. Now we have this figure where we're playing 6, 8, 10, 6, 8, 10, and then again 6, 8, 10, and 7, 8, 10. Now, the Pickslanting. The Pickslanting that we should use for this section so far is always upward Pickslanting. Why? Because first we have an uneven number of notes on the 1st string. There we need upward Pickslanting to go from the E to the A string. After that we have an even number of notes per string, and when you have an even number of notes on a string, then you will keep the Pickslant, because then our first strike is not the same direction like the last strike when we're going to the next string. For example, here our first strike is an upstroke on the A string, up. And the last note is plucked with a downstroke to go to the next string, to the E string in this case. So we need to stay here with our upward Pickslanting up to that point, to the 7, 8, 10 on the D string. So everything from here is played with a so-called upward Pickslanting. That means that you have to put your angle from the pick like this, that the tip of the pick is showing upwards. There are tons of videos out there about Pickslanting. I have created a lot on this channel. Just Google Justin Hornbach Pickslanting or Justin Hornbach picking in general. If you really want to get really deep into Pickslanting and solve all the problems, and then I highly recommend to you to check out the ZEN of Speed Picking, my online masterclass with more than 50 exercises for Pickslanting, string skipping, speed picking, all this kind of stuff. Link is as always in the description box, and I highly recommend to check out videos by Troy Grady, the godfather of Pickslanting. Alright, because now we have to face something which is called two-way Pickslanting, because we're not only staying with the upward Pickslanting, we now have to move to downward Pickslanting. That means here we have now an uneven number of notes per string before we are changing to the next string, and that means we have to change from the upward Pickslanting direction to the downward Pickslanting, which is the opposite, like this. So again, upward, downward. Now we're going to the next section, which goes like this. Here we have the same kind of figure on the next string set. So we have 3 notes on the A string, an uneven number of notes. We have to change to upward Pickslanting, and then we have an even number of notes on the next string, so we can keep the upward Pickslanting. But be aware again of the position shift here. Okay. Downward, upward. Position shift. So we continue with something that I call the Pepsi lick, because it got really famous by a Pepsi commercial where Winnie Moore is played a certain lick with the same construction like this, where we have 3 notes per string where we have 3 notes per string spread over 2 strings. And And this means we have on both strings an uneven number of notes per string, so for both strings as well we need two-way pick slanting. Starting with upward, going on the next string to downward, then again upward and downward. The change between the pick slant I always do on the last note, so up, down, down, like this. After we are here on the 12th fret, we're continuing on the 12th fret, now we're going back to our old pattern, where we can stay again with the upward pick slanting after we have to do two-way pick changes in the notes before that. Now we're going back to the Pepsi lick. Here, again we need two-way pick slanting. So upward, downward, upward, downward, upward, downward, upward, downward. Be aware of this fingering. That's really nasty. But the rest is really, really cool and really familiar for us metal musicians. Then again our usual shape, where we can stay again with the upward pick slanting. And then resolving to the last note. So let me play this one again for you and tell you when I'm going to change to the next pick slant or to the different pick slant position. So we're starting off with upward pick slanting, which is this pick direction here. And let's go upward, still up, everything played with upward. Now down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, so now we have focused on the two-way pick slanting. Again, the next thing is the position shifts that are quite interesting, quite hard, especially when we're going with the pinky from here to here, from here to here. This is always not so easy. So I would recommend to practice these kind of patterns alone. And I also recommend to play this with a clean sound so you can clearly hear when you have not picked a note, when your synchronization is off, and all this kind of stuff. Yes! So I hope I could help you with your guitar problems in this little video. If you want to help me, then hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, leave a like, and see you in my next video. Cheers so far! Stay progress. Bye.